Hello everybody. Today here we're going to do a little series on significant figures and why we use significant figures in the first place. So what significant figures are is that they show an amount of precision. So there is a huge difference between me writing this and this. So this answer is more precise because it goes up to more decimal points and it shows more units ahead of it. Excuse me. While this one isn't as precise because it doesn't show more decimal points, it doesn't show anything else. So there are a few common ways to there are like a few common ways to identify how many sig figs there are in an equation. So right here, I'm just gonna give you an example. This has 3 sig figs, but this has 5 sig figs. You wanna know why? Well, here I'm gonna explain to you the rules. So I'm gonna start this on the bottom now. Number 1. So all non-zero digits are significant. What does that mean? So when we go up back here, none of these are 0. So we can say that 119 has 3 sig figs. Alright? Now if I have something like 4,560, I would have 3 sig figs. Because this 0 is not significant at all. Second rule is that any 0, now pay attention to this because this is where most students get this wrong, any 0 that is sandwiched between 2 significant numbers counts as significant. What do I mean by that? So 1, 0, 1, 9. This would have 1, 2, 3, 4 sig figs. Alright? And no matter how many zeros I sandwich in between significant figures, it's still going to count as significant. So I had 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just give me 9 sig figs. Alright? And this is, sandwiching is easier to understand. So, because as you can see here, all of these count. It doesn't matter how far they're spaced away or something like that. It just means that they're significant, even if they're sandwiched. So the third one is going to be that any placeholder zeros are not significant. Well, what determines a placeholder zero? So if I had 0.00193, so 0.00193, I would only have 3 sig figs. Alright? So I would only have 3 sig figs for this because it is before all of these digits. Before all of the significant digits. So you see here that these don't count as significant. This I have 3 sig figs. If it had if I had this many zeros, I would only have 1 significant figure. Alright, on to our fourth rule. Our fourth rule states that, now this is very different, this is very similar. Okay, so we would have this, the fourth rule is that any number that's after any zero that's after a decimal point is significant. So if I had 195.000, I would have 6 sig figs. Now, why is this different from this? Well, the difference between this and this is that these digits are after the 195. Well, these are before 193. Okay, so there's a huge difference here. This has 6 sig figs. If I had 0.000195, I would have 3. It's completely different. Make sure you do not make this mistake. Alright, so our last rule is that any trailing zeros that are after a comma, or just like any trailing zeros in general, are not significant. So if I had 119, so 119,000, I would only have 3 sig figs. Okay. Now, this should be obvious. So these are the trailing zeros. It is after the comma. So this will make these insignificant. Now, be sure to make clear to your instructor that this is a comma, not a dot, because this is a decimal. So if I had 119.000, this would be 6 sig figs instead of 3. Okay. And I think this concludes all knowledge that is needed of sig figs. Just make sure that you count correctly and you use your sig figs correctly when you do operations, which I will explain in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.